The time is K o'clock. Welcome to the Actors' News, read by VNK, your problem-solving expert. This channel is dedicated to problem solving and personal development, where you can learn how to solve problems in order to increase your chances of success in life. In breaking news today, did you know that you use the feeder method whenever you sit down to solve problems? I can hear you wondering and asking the question, he doesn't know me from a bar of soap. How does he know what method I use in solving problems? Now let me unpack the feeder method. Feeder is an acronym and spelled F-E-D-A. F stands for feeling, E stands for emotion, D stands for decide, and A stands for act. Let's dive into how it actually works practically. You encounter a problem in your personal, professional, or business life. As you and I know, your brain is in the business of forever telling you stories about all sorts of things, about yourself, about other people, about the environment where you live in, and so forth. You can't stop the brain from doing that, because that is what it is actually wired to do, telling you stories. The worst thing that anybody can ever do is to believe each and every story that the brain tells them without vetting the story. That is, checking it for applicability and validity. So when you encounter a problem and your brain gives you a negative interpretation of what that problem means, part of the brain called the amygdala gets triggered. You suddenly feel emotions rising within you. The sympathetic nervous system floods the body with stress hormones. You're automatically placed in either freeze, fight, or flight mode. The heart races, muscles tense up, the brain starts creating worst-case scenarios. You get overwhelmed by stress and negative emotions. The prefrontal cortex, the executive part of the brain responsible for thinking, is shut down. Now that the prefrontal cortex has been shut down, you can't think. Never mind clearly. Rationality is now totally out of the window. You will now be effectively under what they call in psychology the amygdala hijack. The moment you're in such a state, any decision that you take will definitely be wrong. It reminds me of the Greek philosopher Pythagoras, who once said, quote, "In anger, we should refrain from both speech and action," close quote. He also stated that anger begins in foolishness and ends in regret. Don't we know all that? Meaning that if not handled properly, it can be a disruptive emotion that can lead to a bad decision and action. Well, in the Middle Ages, there was also an Islamic leader who was called Ali Talib, who also said, quote, "Don't make a decision when you are angry. Don't make a promise when you are happy," close quote. This is because he knew that people don't really stop to think whenever they are under a spell of emotions. And this is actually backed up by one of the idioms, which goes like, quote, "Cut your nose to spite your face," close quote. And obviously, this idiom describes self-destructive action taken out of anger or out of any other emotion. And that explains the feeder method. The problem with the feeder method is that instead of taking you from a problem to a solution, it actually takes you from one problem to the next. So to avoid using the feeder method, which seemingly is the only way that we use, and in fact we must actually be wired using it that way because it actually comes natural to us. The very first thing whenever you encounter a problem, you must actually focus not on the problem itself. You must actually focus on the way how you feel and the emotions which actually start rising within you. And it's only that way that you can stave off the pending amygdala hijack. In my soon to be published book with the title Make Problems Vanish, I have a better method of solving problems, and that method is the TTDA method. I've done a video on the TTDA method. Just check it out. So, should you be interested in acquiring the skill of solving problems in your personal, professional, or business life, you can either send us your email. Send us your email address on a WhatsApp number +27 76 807 3832, or you can send us an email on VEEYENK@gmail.com, or leave your email in the comments below and we'll send you details of our problem solving training program. Oh, by the way, if you subscribe, you'll be notified every time there is breaking news. Taking problem solving seriously, it means that you're actually taking your life and your success seriously. Because whether you realize it or not, you are in the problem solving business. That ends the breaking news for today. Catch you again next time. This is VNK, your problem solving expert, signing over and out. Salagahle.